Hi Joy, this is Lois at Larjo 15, My Natural Aspirations. That's my channel. I just wanted to come to you because I wanted you to know that I really appreciate the video that you posted, your goodbye videos. I know that you're going through some things physically, and you're not in the best health, and that has been the determining factor in your deciding not to post videos on your site at this time. And I can understand that because when you're going through things, sometimes things that may seem simple but can be tedious, like uploading and editing videos, you know, the time that you spend doing that can be tiresome and frustrating, and you don't need to be frustrated or add to anxiety when you're not feeling well. So if and when you decide that you want to post videos again, trust me, everybody who's seen your videos is going to be back looking at them. I can't promise that they'll comment, because as I told you before, people don't comment on my videos either. If they even look at them, I don't know. But for the most part, when I do post videos, I do it more for myself than for anyone else. However, at this particular time, that's not the case. I just wanted to let you know that, like so many other people did in their comments, that you truly are not alone. And so many people have gone through and are going through much of what you're going through. I can't say exactly, specifically, because I don't know what your illness is, but I know that a few years back I had a major illness. I didn't realize how sick I was, like you had said in one of your postings. I just know that I was working every day. I had 3 kids to take care of. I was divorced, and I was at the time going through a very, very difficult divorce, and I had a very demanding job where I worked 18 to 20 hours a day, and come home and sleep for 2 hours, and then had to head back to work. So many times when I needed to be there for my children, I wasn't there because I was trying to work and provide a home and food and clothing and transportation for them. Needless to say, it took a toll on me, and I went from June to the end of July. From the 1st of June to the end of July, I lost 62 pounds. I needed to lose the weight because during that time of divorce, I was in such a depression. I had really ballooned up, and I had gotten to 196 pounds. So for me, that was big. So I lost 62 pounds in that period of time, and it got to the point where I couldn't eat anything. Everything I ate, everything I drank, it felt like someone was stabbing me in my stomach. And even when I drank water, I would just throw it up because it just hurt so bad. But I continued to try to work anyway. So this one day I went to work. I was feeling horrible, of course, but tried not to let the kids know just how badly I felt. Tried not to let my boss know exactly how badly I felt, because I worked at a large law firm, and I had a lot of responsibilities in my position, and we were in the process of a big closing, and I had to notarize a bunch of documents and prepare closing binders and all this kind of stuff. At any rate, I was walking. I had gone and gotten a glass of water. I was coming back to my cubicle, and I passed out. And someone, called an ambulance, and the next thing I knew, I was in an emergency room. They did all kinds of tests and couldn't find anything, and said that it was probably just exhaustion, and they sent me home. Well, a few days later, on the weekend, no, it was on a Friday, I attempted to get up to go to work, and I could not move. I couldn't move my leg. Just to try to move my leg to get out of the bed shot pain through me so severely that I thought I was dying. And I just screamed when I tried to get out of the bed, and my kids came in the room and they said, "What's going on, Mom? What's wrong?" And I said, "I can't move." I said, "I can't move. I cannot get out of bed." And kids will be kids, and my son at the time was like 12 or 13, and I think he was 13. Yeah, he was 13 going on 14. He was going to be 14 in just a few days. And he literally jumped on my bed and says, "Oh, Mom, you're such a dramatic. You're so dramatic. You're such a drama queen," is what he said. And just as he jumped on my bed, I just projected everything that was in my gut out onto him and the bed and the floor. And then they realized that I was really sick. They called my sister, and she took me to an emergency room. The people at the emergency room sent me over to a gastroenterologist, I guess that's how you pronounce it. And he said I could barely even walk into the room, and my sister and the nurse had to try to hold me up to walk into the room to see this doctor. And he says, "Wow, I don't know what it is, but I can tell that you're in excruciating pain, so we're going to try to see if we can find out." And just him not even pushing down, just touching my stomach, and I thought I was just going to pass out again. I didn't, but I was just crying, and I was in so much pain. And so he took tests, and they had me, to drink the barium and try to see if they could see anything, and they kept saying, well, they couldn't see anything. They couldn't see anything. He just did not know what it was. And so he says, "Well, I'm going to send someone else in." They sent in what do you call those people that, ultrasound specialist. And she did an ultrasound, and she said, that looks funny. And I said, "What is it?" And she says, "Well, let me just do it again." So she did it again, and she said, "I don't know." So she cleaned her equipment or whatever, and she did a third time, and she said, just wait here a minute, I'll be right back." And when she came back with another doctor who was a surgeon, and he looked at the ultrasound, and then he went out, and I guess he looked at her other two results. He came back at me. He says, "I'm sorry, ma'am." He said, "Did you come by yourself, or did somebody come with you?" And I said, "My sister came with me, and she should be out front." And he went out and talked to my sister. And he came back in, and he said, "I'm sorry, but you cannot go home. You need to go right back across the hospital. You need to have emergency surgery right now." And I said, "What? What's the matter? What's wrong?" And he says, "The reason why they couldn't see anything is because your ultrasound looks black." He said, "Just looks like a big black, just black." And he said, "But I see faint edges, which lets me know that you have a huge mass in your stomach. And we're going to have to try to go in and take it out, because it's attached to all of your, or most of, it looks like it may be attached to all of or most of your major organs. And it's got to come out." That sent me into panic mode, of course. And I said, "But I cannot have surgery. I have nobody to take care of my kids. I've got 3 kids, and I have to be there for them. I can't have surgery." He says, "You have to have the surgery, or you won't be here for your kids." So needless to say, I had the surgery. The surgery was 7 hours long, And when they finished the surgery, they had taken out, of course, my female organs, a piece of my stomach, a piece of my kidney, one of my kidneys, and 12 feet of my small intestines and 3 feet of my large intestine. And all of those had been attached to a massive tumor. Fortunate for me, he told me that they did a biopsy on it and it was not malignant, but that they would tell me the rest of the results in a few weeks. I ended up staying in the hospital for about a week and a half because by the time I had the surgery, I had gone down to 102 pounds. And I looked like a pencil with a big head and a bunch of hair. Actually, my daughter said it perfectly. I looked like a mop. And I know that I'm laughing about it now. I can laugh about it now, but at the time I couldn't. Because nobody that I worked with could understand or believe that I didn't feel well, that I was sick. And one of the attorneys that I worked for, was just very insensitive and felt like, well, if you don't want to work, just say you don't want to work. When he knows that was not my nature. I was always there and I worked all the time. So, that hurt my feelings. But at any rate, it turned out to be a good thing because they found out finally what was wrong with me. I had the surgery and eventually, after months and months and months, I got better. And I'm thankful for that. However, during that time, there was really nobody there for me. My sister was there when she could be, but she had a busy life. But my mom was dead, and I really didn't have anybody. My closest friend had already died a few, maybe 2 years prior to that. And it was just horrible. It was a horrible time for me. So in many ways I understand what you're going through, because you can't, it's hard for you to try to explain to somebody that you're sick when you don't even know what's wrong with you, and all the doctors are telling you that you're okay, there's nothing wrong. But finally there was a doctor who did see, and oh, by the way, he said that the tumor was a stress-related tumor. Go figure. So now I try not to put myself in those kinds of positions. And when I finally got the final results back from the biopsy, it was not malignant, but it was filled with Crohn's disease. So, which is something that you never really get rid of. You just manage it. So I have to manage my life and manage my stress, and try not to worry. And as the book says, sweat about the small stuff. Although that's very, very difficult to do. And I'm about to run out of time, so I'm going to end this video right here, and I will come back later. But I just want you to know that you are truly, truly thought about, prayed about, and cared about from not only me, but a host of other people. You are truly loved. And although I may never meet you in person, and I may never talk to you, and you may never respond to me, I just want you to know that you are not alone. Not only do you have a Creator who is always there and who emanates loudly and illuminates brightly through your spirit, through the way that you are. His spirit illuminates and emanates through you. So you are not alone. And it's easy to say when you're on the other side of the fence. I know that. But it's hard to deal with when you're going through something, because nobody could tell me, even though people told me, oh, I was there, I would have done this, I could have done that, I would have done this. It just didn't feel that way. It didn't feel that way. And I know a lot of the reasons why it didn't feel that way is because I was so sick. I was so sick and I had so much on my plate that it was impossible for me to try to explain how I was feeling and what I was going through to those people who said that they were there for me, who wanted to be, and I just couldn't explain to them how I needed them to be. So if for no other reason, if you ever want to talk, or if you ever just want to write, if you ever have any questions, I guess you can see that I'm a whole lot older than you, and I might be able to share some wisdom or some answers. I don't know, maybe I can't, but I can lend an ear. So please take care, and know that I'm sending up supplications for you on a regular basis. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.